And now, a special sneak preview of movies coming to a theater near you.
Negotiations with the madman known as the Ripper have totally broken down, and there is no word on the hostages.
Police have surrounded the ground floor, and SWAT teams are moving into position.
Oh my God, they're shooting at us! Get down! An officer's been
The situation is out of control. The police are pinned
that a
down.
special hostage negotiator has been called in.
What they need down here is an armored division, and this is complete insanity. I've never seen anything like it.
Right now, there's a truck directly in the line of fire guns.
This may be the hostage negotiator police we're talking about.
It's Slater!
You may remember Detective Slater from an earlier story. He is notorious in police circles for his unusual tactics and...
Don't even think it, Slater! You hear me?
Nonetheless, Slater is known throughout the city as someone who gets the job done.
Then you go in there, and it's your badge!
Sorry, not yet. Come back later.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, last action hero, the big ticket for '93.
Hey McBain, I'm a big fan, but your last movie really sucked.
I know. There were script problems from day one.
Yeah, I'll say. Magic ticket my ass, McBain.
Maria, my mighty heart is breaking. I'll be in the Humvee.
Schwarzenegger is Jack Slater, and Jack Slater is the last action hero. MTV and Columbia Pictures want you to see the hugest slam-bangingest movie of the summer and party with the brightest shining star in the galaxy known as Hollywood. 20 winners and their friends will journey to Los Angeles for 2 gala parties, a private soiree with Arnold at Planet Hollywood, and the star-studded Last Action Hero premiere party. After the celebrations, one lucky grand prize winner will put on Jack Slater's jacket and drive away in the Slatermobile. And we'll even throw in some cash for repairs to win a trip to the premiere, invitations to Arnold's party, and a chance at Jack Slater's car and jacket. Send your name, age, address, and telephone number to MTV's Last Action Hero contest. P.O. Box 899, Radio City Station, New York, New York, 10101. Not going to enter?
Big mistake.
Brought to you by Carefree Sugarless Gum, Oxyresidone Face Wash, and Coca-Cola Classic.
In the early 90s, Arnold Schwarzenegger was probably the biggest movie star in the world. He'd just done his 3 biggest films, Total Recall, Kindergarten Cop, and Terminator 2, Judgment Day. He'd also just directed his first TV movie, Christmas in Connecticut, in 1992. When it was announced he was going to do his biggest action film ever, there was a lot of interest. Unfortunately, that film was Last Action Hero. So let's have a look at what happened when it was released.
Boom! Last Action Hero. What do you think of anyone who doesn't see this movie?
Big mistake.
I love this place!
I think it's the biggest movie of the summer. And now when you go to Burger King and order a plain broiled Whopper with large fries and a medium drink, you get this Last Action Hero animated action cup free. Like him, you can be large and in charge. So see the movie and collect all 4 cups. It's your way right away. I love this place, and I'm going to see the movie.
Even before filming started, there were 2 reasons to be worried. Its studio-mandated June 18th, 1993 release, and the release of Jurassic Park a week before. But what could go wrong with a film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, directed by Die Hard's John McTiernan, and written by Lethal Weapon's Shane Black and David Arnott? Turns out, a lot. Having a rushed production, a terrible post-production, filming was so rushed that it continued until the week before the movie was debuted in theaters, and a massively overblown marketing campaign.
Call 1-900-9-ROCKET. That's 1-900-976-2538 to record a message to be launched into outer space.
One major marketing snafu is the film was to be advertised on the back of a NASA rocket. Unfortunately, the rocket was intended to launch in May ahead of the film's June release, but was delayed due to weather and technical issues. Another marketing issue was, originally a 75-foot balloon of Arnold Schwarzenegger held 3 sticks of dynamite. After the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, this was changed to him holding a badge. This inflatable went on many tours around the world, promoting the film and at the premieres.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and director John McTiernan present Columbia Pictures' new action-adventure fantasy, Last Action Hero.
It's a bomb!
He's okay. Minor wound. Both cops dead.
It's the story of Danny Madigan, Jack Slater's littlest, biggest fan, who with the power of a magic ticket...
It's a passport to another world.
...gets blasted up onto the screen for the ultimate adventure with his favorite movie hero.
Don't shoot me. I'm Danny Madigan. I'm a kid.
I was then stuck with this kid, with this 12-year-old kid. And he becomes then part of my entire adventure.
Could I speak to the drug dealer of the house, please? Have a nice day.
The important thing in Last Action Hero is to really show the two worlds.
Oh, Jack! Did you see that?
The Jack Slater character does not know that he's an actor. For him, because we're inside the movie, this is his life.
Because this is a movie!
No one likes a smart ass.
But Danny then tells him, you don't understand, you're an actor. And some schlemiel in Hollywood is writing your stuff.
But battling the bad guys on screen is only half the story.
Because of the nature of this film, characters that perhaps start out as being two-dimensional reveal all their other dimensions as the story goes on.
The ticket gets activated again, and all of a sudden, the villains start walking out of the screen.
Okay, fine. It's great to go into the jungle and see the big monkey now, but the story starts when the big monkey goes to New York.
All of a sudden, when they use the same methods of stunts.
Action, Arnold! Ow!
All of a sudden, things don't work the same way because we're in the real world.
While this movie, in some sense, parodies action heroes, it also has a lot to say about the value of being a hero, because there aren't that many people that kids can look up to today. And whether it's Arnold himself in real life or the characters he therefore plays, they do have a big influence.
It always helps him to go see his action hero because it makes him feel like there he is, that's the guy who I want to be like when I grow up.
John McTiernan, a premier action director in his own right, couldn't wait to lampoon tired conventions of the genre.
There were a number of films in a row that behaved as if all you had to do is have a certain number of explosions, enough muzzle flashes, and you had a hit. Once you try to paint by the numbers, somebody's going to make fun of you.
And who better to make fun of the action genre than the king of action himself?
Oh no!
It is obvious that when you do a movie that is called The Last Action Hero, that I'm not going to walk through the movie and not do any stunts.
Arnold, you can use this as documentation that you've done all of your own stunts forever.
I hate when it happens.
We have Last Action Hero and Jurassic Park all in one picture. And this is why this is going to be the big splash and smash.
It's a challenge, and he loves them. I think those are the days that he has more fun than anything else, than any other days.
I think that Last Action Hero is one of the best scripts that I've ever read. It had a lot of comedy in it. It was bigger than life. It had two worlds in it, the world of reality and the world of an action hero inside the movie.
This hero stuff has its limits.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is a guy who turned his Mr. Olympia bodybuilder's physique into the same kind of big muscle at the movie box office. But he's not content to just be one of the strongest guys on screen. In his new movie, Arnold's out to prove that he's a guy who can laugh at his own larger-than-life on-screen image. Last Action Hero finds Arnold Schwarzenegger crashing cars, jumping from bombs, and fighting bad guys, but it's different from most of the Arnold action films. This one's a spoof, so everything's exaggerated and fun is poked at everybody, including the big guy himself.
I was a famous comedian, Arnold Braunschweiger.
Schwarzenegger.
Gesundheit. I would describe this movie as an action-adventure fantasy movie with a tremendous comic aspect to it.
In the film, Arnold is action movie star Jack Slater. His biggest fan is a young guy played by Austin O'Brien who gets magically pulled into a Jack Slater movie. For Austin, the magic was in working with Arnold.
He's nice, he's funny, he likes to hang out with me, and we're like really good buddies, and it's just really cool for me.
Things heat up in terms of star power at a fake premiere scene in the movie. Scores of celebrities show up, and so do I. I get to play, well, me. Director John McTiernan wanted me and MTV's Chris Connolly to ad-lib interviews with stars as they arrived at this alleged event.
The movie's about the mix of in the movies and out of the movies.
Yeah.
So we had to see real movie faces in their real life.
And of course everybody wanted to do it because Arnold. Really fun.
It helped.
Yeah.
It helped.
John Tesh would kill me doing this. He would. Then action is called and the stars moved forward for their interviews about this made-up Jack Slater film.
Yes, absolutely. I was in the first Jack Slater one. I played the lead in that one, and then I played the heavy in Jack Slater 2.
How much Arnold can we take?
Oh, as much as we can get.
You a big-time fan of Jack Slater film?
I've enjoyed it. It was just beautiful. I just loved it. It was... shut up. The microphone scared me. I'm not really a big fan of Arnold's. She is, you know. Arnold really turns her on, and I just want to be there when it happens. That's all.
Well, finally, it's time for Arnold himself to show up. This scene parodies the sometimes too serious manner in which action stars talk about themselves and their careers.
This movie is much deeper. It has many more philosophic implications. It has much more religious aspect to it.
What can we expect from you next, Arnold?
Oh, next one. I'm so excited that you asked me this question. Next one, of course, we're doing the autobiography or the biography on Sigmund Freud. And what this means, of course, is that I wrote the screenplay, I'm directing, producing, and starring in it. Now imagine a big guy like me playing a tiny little psychiatrist. Now that's what I call acting, right? That's a stretch.
Well, after the shoot was over, I couldn't help but wonder how Arnold felt about my work. How were my scenes, Arnold?
I tell you one thing, that you should be the leading lady in my next movie, I'm telling you. We laughed so much when we watched the dailies the next day, and we saw your performance there, because you have some funny lines in there, you delivered them well, and you looked gorgeous. You look absolutely gorgeous.
See, he's a publicist too.
Yeah, but what can I tell you? Yeah, tune in when you see her.
You're very upset, aren't you?
I'm mad at you, and I'm mad at Arnold. I mean, how many Arnold Schwarzenegger films have you seen? More than once?
Well, I've seen them all once.
Yeah.
You've seen them several dozen times each.
Have you seen Raw Deal? You haven't seen that one. You don't even remember that one, do you?
I've seen Raw Deal, actually.
No.
He was going to ask you to do it. It all came down to the red dress. And you would not wear the red dress. I got to tell you, the stars. Did you see the stars?
Yeah.
Everybody was there. Of course, you weren't there, but everybody else was there. Last Action Hero. It's going to be a major hit this summer.
Thanks. I'm glad to be a part of it.
It's actually headed for theaters around the country this summer, and you will see it without John.
I'm not going to see that one. Yes, I am.
Last Action Hero had its premiere on Sunday, June 13th, 1993, at the Westwood Theatre in Los Angeles. Apart from Arnold, other celebrities included Jay Leno, Danny DeVito and his family, Chevy Chase, Penny Marshall, and Rosanna Arquette. Many of the cast were also at the premiere, with Austin O'Brien, Charles Dance, Anthony Quinn, Mercedes Ruehl, and Arnold's wife Maria Shriver.
Believe it or not, Jurassic Park wasn't the only movie making news this weekend. In Los Angeles, celebrities turned out in droves for the Sunday night premiere of Last Action Hero starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Co-stars Mercedes Ruehl, Anthony Quinn, Charles Dance, and Austin O'Brien joined Arnold and his wife Maria Shriver for the big event. Arnold told CNN what kind of movie he thinks the Last Action Hero really is.
This film will be remembered that you can do action, adventure, and dramatic scenes like that, with chase scenes and blow-ups and special effects, without really making it hard R-rated, and making it PG-13 so the kids can also go and see it, the whole family can go and see it. You don't need the explicit violence in order to tell a story and to make a great movie.
What can all your fans in Japan expect from this movie?
It's a big film, Last Action Hero, and they can expect a lot of action, a lot of special effects, gigantic explosions, things they've never seen before, magic, fantasy, and a lot of humor, a lot of laughs in
Did you
there.
have a lot of fun doing it?
Trust me.
Arnold, when you first read the script, what appealed to you the most about it?
It was the best script I've ever read. It was outstanding. It was really big. It was funny, and it was action-packed. It reminded me of the old James Bond movies. I wanted to do a film like that, and also the whole idea of doing a spoof on an action hero.
Oh, I love it. Great.
How you doing? So, it's going to be something, isn't it? Now, talk to me about these writer kids. How do they ever get through to a man like you? I mean, you're a big-time Hollywood producer, and there are probably 100,000 people out there with screenplays in their desk. If only I could find a way to get somebody to look at it. How did they get through to you?
They thought that I had went to Wesleyan College. They didn't know if it was going to go to Joel Silver, Larry Gordon, Steve Roth, whoever it was. They thought I went to Wesleyan College. Simply.
Yeah?
Is that a funny bet?
But how did they get through to you?
Their agent called me up. He gave me the script. I responded to the material, and I went after it. I thought it was going to go out in a big bidding war where it's going to fetch $2 million. Yeah. I knew it. From my past experience, I thought, God, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. I'm really worried. Yeah. And it all came down to the fact that nobody believed they were going to get Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
Except us. Canton, myself, Nathanson, Josephson. Why not? Yeah. It's a movie business.
Yeah. How did you get him?
I went to Arnold. I went to his agent, who's a good friend of mine, Lou Pitt, and I gave him the script on a Friday night, right after I'd read it, right after it had been sent out. Lou read the material, and he said to me, I think it's great. I'm going to pass it on to Arnold. Arnold took the script home that weekend, and there were very complicated negotiations going on between a couple of different studios. The numbers weren't big. And I got a call from Lou Monday morning, and he said, he's in.
But the key thing for those young kids, the writers, was the fact that they had an agent who could get to you, right?
Yeah. They had an agent. Chris Moore was their younger agent. Bill Block was their senior agent. And Bill Block finally convinced them. He said, go with the engine, go with Roth. And I got very, very fortunate. Because it's a wonderful piece of material.
Thanks, man. Danny! It's on international TV!
Keep an eye on Billy Griffin. I'm going to get
I've got many years to go.
Oh, no. Who would you want to work with, though? Seriously.
A good story, a good plot, and one guy against lots of people.
One guy against lots of people?
Yes, that's the plot.
Would there be a strong female co-star?
Why not?
Yeah.
It depends on the story.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Whose daughter have you also played movies? Really? Well, it's pretty tough to top. It's nice to see you. Come on, guys. Thank you, Bridget Wilson's. Thank you. She's Arnold's daughter. Oh.
Please wait. Arnold!
You see her?
Arnold!
There. Now everybody can look at the screen and listen to Arnold. Congratulations and welcome to the premiere of your movie. I know that you're so anxious.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you very much for all the thousands and thousands of fans that came out here. They've shown so much loyalty. My mother and my wife and I have really appreciated your enthusiasm. And I want to wish all of you happy and great entertainment, and I hope you all see the movie. Just remember one thing. We are maybe big stars, but you are the ones that make us the big stars. So we want to thank you for that, okay? We want to thank all the fans for that. Thank you very much.
You're from Japan.
Nice to meet you. Are you the one who's responsible for the strudel that he has been selling at the Planet Hollywood? Did you give him the recipe?
It's my first time there.
Your mother says that absolutely she's responsible for that.
That's for sure. We want to wish you, Maria, the very best. We know that you have an arrival expected shortly. And when?
He's the same guy that I work with.
Well, you look forward to go. And we look forward to seeing you continue with the show. Yes,
Ahmed, I just want to say that Maria is not here only as my wife today, but she's one of the stars in the movie. She's a great singer.
of course, that's right. I forgot you on the cameo. We want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good to...
You got 10 seconds to go what?
We have speed.
What were you doing studying Afro-American history?
It's lacked in my high school, so I thought I needed a good dose of it.
Where?
Paris, Texas.
Oh, are you from Texas?
Yeah, I told you I used to watch you on TV all the time.
Oh, right.
Is there a university in Paris, Texas?
No, I went to UCLA.
Are we rolling?
You're just having me on all the time here. Yeah, I think
John,
we
I
had
think
Ted
we're
Speed
rolling.
a while ago.
Yeah, I think we're rolling at this point. Anyway, congratulations on Last Action Hero.
Thank you.
Lots of action, lots of stuff going on. And I sat there last night, John, looking at the film and seeing the production and the production values and everything in it. And then realizing that you had a total of 7 months, is that right, to turn this picture in?
Oh, I think it was a little longer than that.
How long?
9 months.
9 months.
9 months from the day the studio committed to making the movie to when it's in the theaters.
So you had 9 months then for pre-production, for shooting, and for post-production. But even so, a film
And
of...
2 weeks of that is to make prints. I actually had to be finished a week ago.
Yeah. It's just amazing to me that a film of this scope could be done in that time. Did you feel tremendous pressure, thinking, I can't do it in this length of time, or how did you react to it?
No, if I felt that, I wouldn't have taken it on. It's a... Making movies is a nearly antique production process. I mean, the last time anybody analyzed the damn thing, there was a hole in the front of an automobile to stick the crank in. And that's not hyperbole. I mean, the process was really fixed in the 1940s, and no one has really changed it or even analyzed it much since. So what we did was really the same sort of thing that, you know, these Japanese just-in-time production and inventory control and that sort of stuff. We went through and we analyzed the process, worked backwards from, okay, it's supposed to be in the theaters on such and such a day. It takes so many days to produce the prints. It'll take so many days to do this. We worked a schedule backwards, which told us how many days, what day we had to start shooting the movie. And that sounds cold and calculating, except this is an economic activity. It's a lot better to organize than it is to just sort of go in it and scratch your head and say, well, we'll try to work real fast and hurry. What we did is we collapsed the normal post-production time, which is normally 6 months or 26 weeks. And we reduced it to 10 weeks. Yes? What?
It's just, you know, it's just inconceivable to me that all of this was done in that span of time. But anyway, let's move on.
I can show you all of the, I mean, we had days worth of meetings and flow charts and industrial management consultants. Really some of the most boring people in the entire world that you have to listen to. But they have good ideas for organizing things. I mean, we just have mountains of charts and timeline analysis things.
I just keep thinking of, excuse me, I just keep thinking of people like David Lean. If they said to David Lean, you have to do this movie in that amount of time, I mean, no way, no way.
He made different sorts of movies. He worked with fewer people. He worked in an environment that, a corporate environment that would allow that and made that possible. Yeah, and sometimes he would spend 2 years on a movie, 2 to 3 years. He'd spend 2 years just doing the location work. But also, there were years when it was difficult for him to do the movies he wanted to do. To some extent, they're the purchasers, the studios. They purchase the product they want, or the sort of product they want.
Do you feel that right now, this summer, that there's almost too much product out there?
No, not at all. Actually, summers when there's good movies are when people go to the movies. Like it was a couple years ago, there was Terminator, and there was City Slickers, and there was Robin Hood in the same summer. And they all did great because it was a summer to go to the movies. And I can't remember, what was the year when Jaws came out? That was a summer to go to the movies. Everybody went to the movies, and there were like 3 or 4 good movies. When they're good movies, people go. So, I don't know. I don't subscribe to any of this competition nonsense. I mean, I think Jurassic is going to do great, and the better they do, the better we're going to do.
Okay. Well, John, it's good to talk with you, and congratulations on Last Action Hero. I think it will do very well for all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
University, I'm not sure.
It's interview before lunch.
All right.
Food.
So, Austin, you just got the word. This is your last interview before lunch. Excuse me. I think I'm needing lunch or a lozenge or something. Anyway, I want to congratulate you on your performance in this movie. You're really, now don't get shy about it, but you're really a very good little actor.
Thank you.
But you've had quite a lot of experience.
Yeah, actually I have. My first ever feature film was Lawnmower Man. And then I did a movie for video cassette called Prehysteria, which is coming out June 30th on video cassette. So that's going to be cool as well.
And who else is in that?
Brett Cullen, Samantha Mills, Stephen Lee, a whole bunch of other people, yeah.
All right.
Tony Longo, a whole bunch of people. Yeah.
When you got this role, excuse me, when you got this role in Last Action Hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger, what did you do? Did you just yell and scream and jump or what?
Practically, yeah, because I've always wanted to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've always gone to see his films everywhere. I always liked Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that's what my character and I have in common. We both go to see his films, we both got to meet him, and we both got to get really close to our action hero, and that's what's really cool.
When you met Arnold the first time, what did he talk with you about?
Actually, he just asked me a couple questions like, what's your favorite thing to do? Do you like to ride your bike? Where's your favorite place to go and stuff like that? And then we read some of the script, and then I went home. So,
why do you think he chose you?
I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him one of these days.
You never have asked him?
I never have asked him. No, I haven't. I should.
You're only, what now, 12?
12, exactly.
Okay. Up until now, and let's put Arnold aside for a minute, but who have your heroes been?
Well, to tell you the truth, Arnold has been my hero practically. But I also like Tom Cruise. I like, let's see, Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman, a lot of people, yeah.
Have you met any of them?
No, I haven't, but I'd like to one day.
Do you have another film coming out or something?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing My Girl too, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
And who will be in that?
That's going to be with Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, Anna Chlumsky, and me, I guess.
Okay, so are you going to be kind of her boyfriend? Or?
Yeah, that's who I'm going to play.
Okay. For you, Austin, what was the most difficult thing you had to do in this movie?
Probably one of the emotional scenes that I did. I did a lot of crying scenes, and what made me cry is it was like really close to the ending of the movie and to the ending of working on the movie. And all I had to really think about was saying goodbye to Arnold and the crew, and that really got me going, so, yeah.
What was the most fun part?
The most fun part, I think getting rocked around in the car in the back was a lot of fun. And also working with Arnold. I mean, Arnold basically plays himself in the movie. I mean, he's really funny, and he's a great guy, and he's a loving, caring, generous guy. Of course, you don't see that too much in Last Action Hero, but actually, yeah, you do see it in some parts of Last Action Hero. And he is just a really great guy. Yeah, he's a loving, caring, generous guy. And one of the ways of I can tell you about him being generous is like he'd have some kids from the Make-A-Wish Foundation who were sick, and he'd come over and make them feel good about themselves, and he'd help them, he'd build them up, make them feel good about themselves, and he'd play with them and eat them, and eat with them at lunch, and just have a good time with them and make them feel really good about themselves. And then another way to show how generous he is, I was in Cannes with him, and we were going over to see a premiere of a movie, and there's big crowds to see Arnold coming because they all knew Arnold was coming, and they'd be screaming Arnold, and Arnold would come up to me and say, Austin, they're screaming for you. Because did you know that the word Arnold in France is Austin? Like sitting there going, okay, Arnold, whatever. It was really funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it your ambition as an adult to be as big a star as Arnold is?
I like to be, but I doubt it'll ever happen because Arnold's like the biggest star, but I think it would be really cool if I could. Yeah.
Well, set your sights high, and I bet you can make it.
Thank you.
Austin, it's been fun talking with you,
nice talking to you too.
Congratulations to you and all of the people on Last Action Hero.
Thank you.
Okay. And now, lunch.
Why not?
Arnold, it's always good to talk with you because you always have something to say. You've always got a movie that people want to hear about. And so, I don't know, this must be what, 8 times that we've talked together. But anyway.
We have met a lot of times.
Yes.
And, before we even start this interview, I have to say thank you very much for all your support and all the movies I've done. I really appreciate that.
Well, it's the people who buy the tickets. They're the ones. Yeah.
Yes, but I always feel that the way it goes is this, that we make the movie. Then we need someone like you that goes out and tells the people about the movie. And then it's the people that then buy the ticket and go and see the movie. That's usually the chain of events, the way we go through. And I always, as a movie maker and as an actor and now executive producer, I know how important those other steps are. The step that you are making and helping us with the promotion, and also the step the audience is making by going to see the movie. That's why I always say, I make movies for the audience. I make movies for the people out there, not what I necessarily want to do or what the studio says we should do. I do the movies that they want to see.
Arnold, when you were a kid growing up, who were your heroes?
Oh, I had a few heroes. I had John Wayne, Marlon Brando, Sophia Loren, Elizabeth Taylor. Those were Kirk Douglas. Those were my heroes then. But remember one thing, that I the first time I ever went to see a movie, I probably was around 11 years old or so. I mean, it was not a common thing as a kid growing up in Austria, especially in the village where I grew up, to see movies. But I remember when I saw the first few movies, it was Western movies or Tarzan movies or some great movies that Sophia Loren did and that Elizabeth Taylor did that I enjoyed very much. And I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this film, because I thought the whole idea of the fantasy that children have, that I had as a child, sitting in front of the screen and saying to myself, what would it be like to be sucked into this film and be part of John Wayne's action,
to ride around and chase the villain, sit on his saddle, and do all those kind of things. Wouldn't it be great? Or him coming out of the screen? And this is what this movie deals with. It is like, changing worlds from the fantasy world, the action world, into the real world, and what effect that has on the characters.
In this film, you're doing a lot of your own stunts. Now, swinging from the crane, you really were swinging from the crane, right?
I was hanging up there on a hook of the crane. It was probably around 20 stories above the ground, least, I would say, with tremendous speed. And it is a strange thing when you do those things because you don't quite know, how you react. You know that you have the courage to do it, and you know that you've handled heights before, but you never know. So there is some anxiety that goes through you, what is if you pass out and you fall down and you crash and all this kind of thing. So it's really a weird thing. But we have practiced a month before we started shooting the film, all the stunts and all the action, which I've never done in any movie, because the movie is so packed with a lot of tremendous action and stunts that we wanted to make sure that it is totally believable, because the movie is called Last Action Hero. So I wanted to make sure that I looked like an action hero, played like an action hero, totally believable.
Arnold, the current issue of Premiere Magazine has you listed as number 8 out of 100 most powerful people in Hollywood. Now, you and Kevin Costner are the only actors in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your take on that?
My take on all of those things is that I feel very honored that the media puts me into this position of making me look like I'm bigger than life, or that I'm this powerful guy, or I'm on top of the wave, or I'm on top of my career, in all of those things. And those things always have it has always a positive side, and it also has a negative side. Because the positive side is that one magazine lifts you up and says, Arnold's movie, Last Action Hero, and Spielberg's movie, Jurassic Park, are going to be the top 2 movies of the year. So that's the positive side. And you say, well, how did I get up there all of a sudden? That everyone else is ignored, that comes out, and we are the 2 top. So that's nice. But at the same time, you get knocked when you're on top of the wave. You get attacked. People say, will he make the release schedule? Don't they have a problem? Don't they have to reshoot the thing and all those things? So that's the other side of it. So it always comes with 2 sides. But I feel honored being put on that level.
And so you don't sweat those things.
Sweat?
Yeah, you don't.
No. Remember, the more responsibility that you give me, the more excited I get. Eventually there will be the time where I would direct, I would produce, I would star, and I would own the studio. That's when I am excited about it. That's maybe when I start sweating. Who knows what? But right now, it was absolutely fabulous, my experience doing Last Action Hero, having had the power as executive producer, being the star in a movie, having had control over who should be hired and who not, and the release schedule and the budget and the merchandising and all of those kind of things. I had a great time. And remember, when you are involved in a good project and from the beginning this is exciting and people would love to see that, you feel excited about it. And that's what I feel.
Arnold, you are such a joy to talk with because you are animated, you're very intelligent, you're just, you're the kind of person we like to interview.
Thank you.
And congratulations on Last Action Hero, and I hope it is the big, big hit.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Arnold.
But Last Action Hero does have something going for it that the others do not, and that is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold, how you been? Good morning.
Terrific, thank you. It's good to see you again.
Thank you. While you're in good humor, I'll get the bad stuff out of the way first, okay? This film's had an awful lot of negative buzz attendant to it, a lot of negative rumors, rewrites, delays, poor test screenings. What's the deal?
Well, it is true that we have had rewrites and that it was a struggle to get it out on time, but I mean, it's a terrific movie. So I think that if you have problems with the shooting, it doesn't mean it's a bad movie. I think we just got a bad rap because people are jealous. They know that we have another great summer hit. And then there's other people that take a shot at me because I'm on top. So that's a natural thing that you have to expect. But I always look at it this, and if you look at the overall press that I'm getting, it's 95% so good. How can I complain about the 5% that is bad? That it's just part of the deal. And I'm very proud of the movie. We all are very proud of the movie. And the movie is going to be very successful.
You must get an enormous amount of scripts sent your way. Why'd you choose to do this?
Last Action Hero is one of the most creatively written scripts. It was very, very humorous. It has a lot of action in it. I like the idea of doing a spoof on action heroes. I myself have done enough action movies and established myself as an action hero that it was the right time to look back at it and make some fun of the whole thing and the outrageousness of action films. And the script was extremely entertaining, and it also has a serious message there at the same time, because while you're going through this action and bigger explosions and more dangerous stunts and all those things, in the end, when the action hero steps out of the screen into the real world, he realizes that action and violence has its toll. It takes its toll, and this has an effect, and it's bad, and it can kill people, and it can hurt and all this. And when he goes back into the film, he wants to change his life as an action hero to be a more peaceful person.
This from a guy who, by one count, killed almost 300 guys on screen in his life. But that was the Arnold of the 80s. Is the Arnold of the 90s going to be more nonviolent?
Well, I think that one thing we see is that families today want to go together to the movies. The children want to go with the parents with the kids, the whole family want to go and be entertained by a movie. So I think that we have to make adjustments and make movies that maybe have action and stunts and some violence, but not be as graphic with the violence, so it is acceptable for the whole family. And I think that's what we have done also in Last Action Hero. It is an acceptable movie, and we have seen on screenings now that the whole family enjoys it. The kids enjoy it, the women enjoy it, the men. Everyone has a good time with the movie.
So as executive producer, it was uppermost in your mind the picture get a PG-13, not an R.
It was very important to have a PG-13 because the entire country now is concerned about violence in television, violence in the movies, and we as a whole wanted to contribute to that and be up to the speed with the time and what the people want, because in the end we are doing films for the people and not for ourselves.
Let's take a look at a clip from the film. I'm not going to try to explain it because it is fairly complex. It's a movie within a movie within a movie. But in this case, your character, Jack Slater, is wreaking havoc at a funeral for the bad guys.
That's right.
Every time I see you and we do one of these things, I always ask you when you're going to start acting your age. You did all your own stunts for this film, huh?
Not all of them. I did a lot of them. But whenever you get into a situation where you could get killed, and of course the stunts were incredible in this film, you then let a stunt coordinator or a stunt person do the stunts. There was a lot of dangerous stuff with blow-up cars and big jumps off the bridge into rivers. I think that this movie has more stunts than of any movie I've ever done. So some of it was done by stuntmen.
You always a willing participant when they say, hey, Arnold, it would look great if you did this yourself?
Yes, I always analyze it, and I always see if it is possible. But I never let my ego get in the way and, try to stretch it, because accidents happen all the time in films. And I want to make sure that I can be as much protected as much as I can,
Yeah. Let's talk business. This summer you've got a film out. So do Spielberg, Cruise, Stallone, Harrison Ford, all the biggies. Do you think the receipts of those films are going to say anything about who's hot and who's not?
I think what it says always is how much the people enjoy the film. The important thing is always that when you are a star, you have the responsibility of opening a film. From then on, it is the movie that has to carry the rest of it. You cannot, a star is only as good as the first weekend. From then on, it is the concept of the movie, the story, how well it is put together, does the theme work, and so on and so forth. And so I was very fortunate in the last 4 or 5 years that I've always come up with films that the people have really enjoyed, although the critics were not always, as favorable, but the people really enjoyed the films, and that's why the films were very successful.
So in other words, if Cliffhanger beats The Firm but loses to Last Action Hero, will that necessarily mean that Schwarzenegger's hottest and Stallone's after him and Cruise is after him?
No, I don't think so. I think it is just that the people enjoy the one movie more than the other, So I think that there is such a thing as being hot and not being hot, but you could see, for instance, films like just very recently we have seen, for instance, Indecent Proposal, and you saw Robert Redford going through the roof again. A half a year ago he came out with a movie and he didn't do anything in the box office. So you don't get hot from 1 month to the next like this. It's just that some movies the people enjoy and others they don't. And it is a key thing when you're an actor that you pick scripts that the people enjoy and that you always think about the public rather than What do you like to do?
I know you watch the business end. You at all intimidated by Jurassic Park's opening weekend?
No, I think it was the most fantastic thing that could happen to any movie that opens in the summer, because you always have to have a movie out there that opens really huge to get that whole momentum going of summer movies, that now the summer has arrived, everyone is going to the movies, and that opens the whole thing up. I remember when we did Total Recall, and before us there were 2 other movies that came out that did huge business. Teenage Mutant Turtles, for instance, opened up gigantic, and it really started the whole thing rolling, the summer movies here and all this, and it helps everyone. I think with Jurassic Park opening up big, it will be great for our movie and great for other movies in the future.
Arnold, always good seeing you. Take care of yourself. Tell Maria, hey,
Brian.
Congratulations again. By the way,
Thank
I
you.
know another baby's on the way. What, September?
Thank you.
Good luck.
Control is not important. Control is only important when someone gives you the responsibility for a movie. The people at Columbia Sony Studio, Peter Guber and Mark Kenton, the leaders of the studio, are very good friends of mine, and they liked the idea of the movie Last Action Hero. They thought it was the most creative and most spectacular idea and concept that we have had in recent years. And they said to me, all right, Arnold, here's the money and here's the green lighting of the movie. Go ahead and make this movie. So therefore, there's a certain responsibility, a tremendous responsibility placed on you as an actor and as a producer. And therefore, it is very important to then have tight control over this project and to lead it from the beginning, from the script writing stage to the hiring of the director, all the way through to going through the Cannes Film Festival, promoting the movie here, promoting it overseas, all the way until it is on a screen everywhere in the world. It's a big responsibility.
That's mine. Was it good for you to work with John McTiernan again?
I love working with the same directors over and over. I mean, there's a certain amount of directors like John McTiernan, Jim Cameron, Ivan Reitman, Paul Verhoeven. These are the 4 guys that I love working with and rotating. I could rotate with those 4 guys for the rest of my life because they're great. They have a sense of humor. They are good with drama, with suspense, and with this bigger-than-life feeling on a movie, which the people enjoy so much. You know, the fantasy. Because people basically go to see movies to switch off the world of reality and turn on the world of fantasy.
The governor gets here, call me.
Danny Madigan is a die-hard action film fan. His favorite hero is Sergeant Jack Slater. Slater is constantly battling the bad guys on screen, getting out of every catastrophic situation with nary a scratch. But one day, while watching his movie hero on screen, little Danny's ticket comes to life, and he ends up smack in the center of an action-adventure.
Who the hell are you?
Don't shoot me. I'm Danny Madigan. I'm a kid.
How did you get here?
I'm not quite sure where here is, sir, but I don't think you want to know.
But I'm stuck with this kid, with this 12-year-old kid. And he becomes then part of my entire adventure.
Teamed with his #1 hero, Danny is busy living out his fantasies, smashing cars and catching criminals. It's a fantasy movie world where the good guys always win, and the bad guys look familiar. But when the villain gets a hold of the magical ticket, the real world is in trouble, and so is tough guy Jack Slater.
Please be careful. Things were different here.
Damn it, that hurt.
As you might expect, Schwarzenegger did all of his own stunts on the film, from jumping off buildings to landing in a pool of gook. The actor served as executive producer. He says he liked the script right from the start.
It was entertaining. It had a lot of comedy in it. It was bigger than life. It had 2 worlds in it, the world of reality and the world of an action hero inside the movie, inside the screen.
The film, of course, parodies movie heroes, but also shows children the importance and meaning of having someone to look up to. Expect loads of action, including plenty of explosions, and of course, Arnold's signature style.
I'll be back. Ha! You didn't know I'm gonna say that, did you?
That's what you always say.
I do?
Boom! Last Action Hero. What do you think of anyone who doesn't see this movie?
Big mistake.
I love this place! I think it's the biggest movie of the summer. And now when you go to Burger King and order a flame-broiled Whopper with large fries and a medium drink, you get this Last Action Hero 8 Action Cup free. Like him, you can be large and in charge. So see the movie and collect all 4 cups. It's your way right away. I love this place, and I'm going to see the movie.
On June 18th. This is a magic ticket. Get ready to be transported out of the audience and into the action.
Holy cow! I'm in the movie!
Who the hell are you?
I'm Danny Madigan. I'm a kid.
This summer, Arnold Schwarzenegger is Jack Slater.
Jack!
Everybody down! And Jack Slater is the last action hero. The big ticket for '93.
Reviews on its release were very mixed, with mostly negative reviews and bad word of mouth hampering the film's performance. Many reviewers enjoyed the film, but due to the pedigree of the cast and crew, thought it wasn't up to their standards. The film was nominated for 6 Golden Raspberry Awards, but didn't win any.
Did you hear this?
Help me! Get me out of here!
My God! This man's not dead!
Arnold Schwarzenegger pokes fun at himself and his larger-than-life stunt-filled movies in Last Action Hero, one of the new summer films we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. And we'll also take a look at Steven Spielberg's new dinosaur epic, Jurassic Park. I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. Our first film is Last Action Hero, and this is a most ambitious project that works quite well in fits and starts and then drags on for what seemed to me like an extra 30 minutes, wearing out its welcome. It's a movie within a movie within a movie about a young boy who is addicted to Arnold Schwarzenegger action pictures, and he ends up landing right inside one. Here's the scene where it all happens.
Who the hell are you?
That's Austin O'Brien, quite good and relaxed as the kid. They become cop partners, and the banter here is a lot better than that Burt Reynolds monstrosity, Cop and a Half. The joke here, Schwarzenegger's character naturally doesn't realize he's in a movie. He thinks he's real. Movie mobsters here atop a hotel for a mob funeral, and this is where the film starts to get a little long, even though the stunt work is impressive. The ultimate villain in the piece is a mobster played by Charles Dance, who late in the picture takes over the kid's ability to jump between the movie world and the real world.
Usually when they do that, it leaves a hole.
As I watched Last Action Hero, I thought of a line written by film critic Vincent Canby at least a decade ago, that with the homogenization of the American film industry, with escalating budgets and safe subjects, we were heading toward a time when, in a manner of speaking, there would be just one movie made in a year. And Last Action Hero could be that film. It has the #1 movie star doing his thing and also commenting on it at the same time. Ultimately, he seems like he wants to get onto new territory, and so do we. I enjoyed chunks of Last Action Hero, but culturally, I think it may be more significant than it is entertaining.
I was also disappointed in it, Gene, and also, like you, I was impressed by some of the stunt work, but then again, you can kind of manufacture stunts. The tricky part is to put them in a movie that is worth watching for 2 hours and keeps your interest. And here, I think one of the problems was this duality, because the suspense scenes, when you're supposed to be really wrapped up in them, are all undercut by the knowledge that it's the movie within the movie, and so something is going to happen in such a way that what you're seeing isn't really what is going to be the payoff. I don't know if I made that clear, but
what you're saying is
that the movie constantly confuses you on that level of emotional involvement.
No, what it does is it sets up a pattern that you know is going to be kept on going, and so that when it's tense, you know it's going to be uncut. What I think they should have done is had it be more bookend introductions and let the action go straight through, or have the kid talk
that might have helped,
and have a rooting interest where he's really trying to help the kid, not joking with each other so much.
The one thing that I liked somewhat was the way they kid the action cliches. Good. For example, the talking killer, which we've talked about on this show.
That was smart.
Okay, next movie.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Excuse me, pardon me. Last Action Hero. I've been dying to see this. I love this place.
Catch the action at the movies, then catch the action at Burger King.
Because when you buy a flame broiled Whopper with large fries and a medium drink, you get this Last Action Hero animated action cup free. Turn that right there. Look at the action in this cup. This movie's gonna be slamming. And so are these cups. So collect all 4. Your way, right away. We love this place!
Like all big films of the 90s, there was a big marketing push on toys. Many of these found themselves in the bargain bin soon after the film's release, but are worth quite a penny now if you can find them.
Make no mistake, Jack Slater is the Last Action Hero.
Jack, it's Benedict and his Rottweiler!
Okay, Ripper, let's bring down the house. Whack! Whack!
Big mistake.
Hang on, Danny! We go up, he comes down. Now you're in the doghouse.
Last Action Hero Police Station. You put it together. Figures sold separately. New from Mattel. Make no mistake, Jack Slater is the last action hero.
Danny, we're being followed. It's that bozo Benedict. My Evil Eye Roadster is a real blast, Slater. You're a dynamite guy, Benedict. Yeah! Missed me, Copper. Ah! You flipped me out, Benedict. Eat tailpipe, Slater.
Big mistake.
Here's one for the road. Later, Slater.
Evil Eye Benedict, Slater's convertible, Evil Eye Roadster, and Dynamite Jack Slater sold separately. New from Mattel. Make no mistake, Jack Slater is the last action hero.
Ah! Ripper, you're looking sharp today.
Whack!
Big mistake.
Cool, Slater talks. Whack! Welcome, Slater. Jack, help! Pull up a chair.
Heads up.
Yo!
Ooh, Danny, don't let them get away. Oh no! You guys still hanging around?
Sound Punch Slater and Chair Crashing Slater talk and make sound effects. Other figures sold separately. New from Mattel. Make no mistake, Jack Slater is the last action hero. And now you can be Slater.
Jack, help! Pick on someone your own size, Ripper. You asked for it, Slater. Piece of cake. Jack, look out! Whack! Whack! You ripped my shirt.
Big mistake.
Have a dumbbell, dumbbell. You're such a drip, Rip.
Pete, Peck, and Jack, Hook, Launch, and Danny, Axe Swing, and Ripper, and Dynamite Jack Slater sold separately. New from Mattel.
Last Action Hero was released on VHS and Laserdisc on January 26, 1994. And he also stars in this promotional video for exhibitors.
Hi, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, but you knew that anyway. Let me just tell you, you are the exhibitors, and you I want to talk to. You know why? Because you're very important. The exhibitors are extremely important. They're just as important as the distributors. The distributors are just as important as the studio executives. And you all are together just as important as the stars. And we all have to work together to make this happening, to make a movie huge, big, successful, money, fame, power, all of those kind of things. Let's be honest. So what I mean here is I want to tell you about this new project, about Last Action Hero. We're talking here about a major project. That is an adventure movie, that is an action movie, that is a fantasy movie. It is a wonderful story, and I think it's going to be absolutely revolutionary. And it will be so huge when it comes out that you will be all going crazy because you have to turn away so many people. Let me just tell you that the action that is in there, but I shouldn't even talk about the action. I think that you should just see it yourself. Let me, no, it's the wrong thing. No, not this. Nate, no. No. Ah, here we are. Here, watch this. Now, just to show to you what kind of incredible explosions that we have, and what kind of incredible stunts and spectacles that we create in order to sell tickets next year. Watch this.
It's a bomb!
Say, okay, watch it again, because I know you missed that one. You blew up a house, okay? So here again, let's do it again. Or you prefer something more classical? All right, how did you like it? Me playing Hamlet? Are we talking now? Oh, I know it's a little stretch, but what the hell? Huge, big explosions, big action, fantasy, adventure, and all those kind of things. And the great director that we have here is John McTiernan, who I, of course, worked with on Predator. Then he did Die Hard and Hunt for Red October and all those kind of movies, all huge movies, and now this is just another one of those big, big movies. But I mean, I don't want to really talk about my performance now in this movie. It is spectacular. It's an enormous stretch because of the depth it has in it, the religious implications, the philosophic dimensions to it and all this. But let me just go directly to John McTiernan here. He can talk and can tell you about my performance here. Now listen to this here. Okay, what do you think of me, John?
Oh, I think he's absolutely incredible in this movie. The stuff he's doing is just, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just wait.
Do you see what he said about me? I'm telling you, it is unbelievable, my performance here. But now let me just tell you the way I feel about the whole package. You remember Terminator 2. It was a big smash, right? Let's try to make Terminator 2 a little tiny movie. Let's make this one so big that Terminator 2 is just going to be that puny in compared to Last Action Hero. But it's all up to you. You are the one responsible. You have to show the posters out there in front of the theaters, the standees. You have to show the trailer. You have to be with us with the promotion to make sure that every single American knows about Last Action Hero. As a matter of fact, it is the big ticket for 1993. And it's up to you now to make sure that every American knows about it, that every American goes to see it. I see you later at the box office. And don't be surprised when I call you daily and ask for the grosses, for the box office grosses. Hasta la vista, baby. And here's a special message for the European exhibitors. I come from Europe, so it's very important to me that the European countries are outdoing America. So don't disappoint me. Really promote the movie heavily. Have the billboards out there, the posters, the standees, and show those trailers over and over. I count on you. This is a message from one European to another.
If you want action, we got it. Last Action Hero. Now, the year's most action-packed movie is today's hottest video game for your Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis systems. And it's available only at your video store. So when you're returning this cassette, pick up the game and live the action.
A video game based on the film was released in 1994 on video game consoles for Sega and Nintendo. There was a themed pinball machine by Data East as well. So here's a look at the video game on Sega and Nintendo. The game itself was less well received than the film.
Only one album has all the action. Only one album has Megadeth, AC/DC, Anthrax, Fishbone, Aerosmith, Def Leppard, Cypress Hill, Tesla, Alice in Chains, and Queensryche. Last Action Hero, the one soundtrack that's got them all. On Columbia, CDs, mini discs, and cassettes.
The film's score was composed by Michael Kamen. The soundtrack peaked at number 7 on the Billboard 200 chart and was well received by the metal and rock communities, and in some ways was more popular than the film at that time.
That's what I call action.